didn't even get to cross.
You are required to ensure the security of this country against any aggression. What does that mean for you? It means that you shall have to fight and fight to win.
Hello Internet, hope you haven't been too good. Welcome to the gorgeous views of Hanley. Well, we got off to an early start cause Mehdi's bike needed some fixing. Vikram, Karmabhai, Mehdi, everybody put their heads together. It took some time to figure out where the problem was, but luckily it was a small one. One of the wires had short-circuited, the wires that was used by Mehdi to install a third-party aftermarket headlight. Once that was out of the way, Mehdi's bike was absolutely fine. But we had another bike to fix, the Himalayan. Since we thought that the issue was because of faulty fuel, probably water in the fuel, we thought it's best to remove all the fuel from the fuel chamber. And for that, we thought we'll need to remove the spark plug. But the way the Himalayan is designed, you can't remove the spark plug till you pull out the petrol tank, believe it or not. Anyway, that was done, but that left big brother Vikram a little tired.
Tired after fixing the bikes.
However, the aroma of fresh breakfast being prepared was enough to get the big man out of his room and into the kitchen. Come along, let me show you what the kitchen and the dining area of this beautiful homestay called Hanley House look like.
Hello, good morning.
Today.
Good morning. Oh, wow. आप breakfast कर रहे हैं? 10 बजे स्कूल जाना है, ऐसा सुनने में आया है.
Just look at that. A window with a view. Enjoying the warm hospitality of these lovely people. And conversations with other travelers.
So, I did Tata Mumbai marathon of So here also you did a 21? Yeah. That's quite commendable, man, with the altitude. So you got how many days before you actually got
7 days when we started.
Yes. That's great. So that you're fully acclimatized.
Yeah.
Well, all this talk about marathoning had made Vikram very, very hungry. And I don't blame him. It was hard to resist the steaming hot scrambled eggs, or how we call it, anda bhurji.
I met some other guys also at Chandra Tal. The full one? They were also from Bombay. Half.
Look at that go. So being the editor in charge of these motor vlogs, well, my mean streak comes out. I capture all those awkward moments, don't I?
ये आपका जो ऊपर ऐसा डेकोरेशन है, ये बना बनाया मिलता है बाजार में. ऊपर जो लगाया खिड़की ऊपर.
इवेंट देना पड़ता
तो ये पैनल देर से बन के आता है.
पहले से बन के सब कुछ दे यहाँ तो एक भी
आपका नाम कब? आपका कितना साल हो गया हाथ में?
Well, we had planned to spend some time at the Hanley Observatory. It was a good opportunity to take the Himalayan out for a test ride to see how it was working, but unfortunately, it wasn't doing too well. This is the view from the parking lot. You can see the entire valley and the village of Hanley.
See, you are looking at the background track for the vlog. The background track is called Viraj.
Oh fuck!
What a beaut!
What a view! Look at the view! Oh shiz!
Oh shit! Damn! Huh?
Kids, look at this! Look at that!
Yeah. And do not miss the attire.
So,
This is what real men ride as. No less. They also park the bike in a way that it might fall.
The Indian Astronomical Observatory. You definitely want to pull out your camera and take some pictures, because the scene here, it's straight out of a badly produced 1970s science fiction film. Just look at that. The aliens have landed. But jokes apart, what better place than here to set it up? You're already halfway to heaven. At 15,000 feet, this is as close as you're gonna get, standing on Earth, looking up at the stars. Unless, of course, you're into climbing. Well, it was time for us to head back to our homestay and pack up, gear up, and head out. But before that, it was turnips. Padmaji, the lady of the house, she had a kitchen garden. She was growing turnips and she was gracious enough to offer us some. Well, it's something about a lady waving around a knife like that. It's best to exit the scene.
यहाँ जो भी निकलता है ना वो निकालने में मुश्किल हो वो पूरा ऑर्गेनिक होता है.
And she does look a little serious here, but trust me, she was one of the warmest hosts that we've come across. And if you ever go to Hanley, I would highly recommend that you stay with her at Hanley House. Well, it was time for us to hit the road. Goodbye, Hanley. You captured our hearts. Hope we can be back soon. But before we start making our way towards our destination for today, which is Chanshal, let's stop and see the route that I was very, very keen to do, but we could not. Enclosed for civilian movement. That's because this area is pretty close to the Indo-China border, and we already know what's been happening. Hopefully someday it'll be open. Anyways, this is a satellite grab. If you see, the route goes eastwards towards Fotila. That is the pass that you cross. It makes its way eastwards till it is almost parallel to one of the tributaries of the Indus. And here you can see there are a lot of loops, which essentially means that there'll be a lot of climbing up and climbing down. This definitely will be a fun route to take. You come down further and then start going back westwards, where you come right next to the Indus River. And then you come back to the point. If you remember in the last motor vlog, this is the point where we were sort of misdirected by that police jeep. But then again, looking back, maybe he was directing us to a more fun route. But anyways, we cross over and then start going northwest towards the Tsaga La Pass, which is sort of the gateway. And then you get into the valley, which will lead you to Chanshal. And from Chanshal, you can further make your way down till you're in Pangong Tso, which incidentally right now is in the eye of the storm. That area has always been sensitive, but it's unfortunate that China chose such a time where the entire country in the world is fighting with the COVID-19 to sort of disrupt the status quo. Well, we start off to a beautiful sight. That is a Kiang. It is the great Himalayan wild ass. Yes, sir. More of a horse than an ass if you ask me. But he fancies he wants to race with Aashi. Well, why not? And you know what? He wins. And there are more. and yet again some more, till we come across this amazing sight. Just look at that herd, running wild, running free, kicking up a storm. Well, we are riding free too. And our fall bro Viraj, well, he's getting some air. I know you're looking at that sand rising up, but I'll show you something even more drastic. Look at that signboard, 50 kilometers an hour. Just take a good look. A long straight road with nobody on it. That has got to be the most cruel jokes of all time. But yes, the sand patterns that these thermals are throwing up, very, very interesting. Doesn't it remind you of that movie, The Mummy? No, not Mommy, The Mummy, like the Egyptian mummy. Needless to say, going off-road, hard to resist. The only thing that you have to be careful about is how soft and deep the sand suddenly gets. And that is Pro Bro Mehdi. I think Viraj and him, they exchanged bikes, but he's having just as much fun on the Himalayan. Like they always say, it's the rider, not the bike. And now Mehdi will have to buy me a couple of beers for saying that. Running wild with the horses, like I always say, cowboys on steel horses. The ride back from Hanley all the way to Loma is indeed a gorgeous one. You have huge flatlands, wide valleys, pastures, water bodies, and the occasional village, making it the quintessential motorcycle touring route. Here we are back at the intersection where we'll need to show our inner line permits once again and then head northwest towards the Tsaga. Here we go again. Well, the Jeep was having its own trip, but looking at this footage, the bike is definitely more fun. That's the Indus to our right. Okay, so this is what happens to all of us. That is Viraj. He looks, I'm back. He knows the camera is rolling. Oh dear. Some of the funniest things happen when the camera is rolling. Wait for it. Wait for it. Well, nothing funny happened, right? That was a joke on you, not on Viraj. Well, we were at yet another checkpoint.
Lady, what all do you have in there, lady?
And Yuki was rehearsing for a new part.
Please.
You do know she's an actor, don't you?
Only $5.
$5?
But here's what also happened. We exchanged bikes, which meant Viraj went back to the Himalayan, Mehdi took my Africa Twin, and I took his Suzuki. This was one mad bike. The perfect tool for terrains such as this. And we were beginning to see other motorcyclists who were probably making their way back from Pangong. It's good that this route is now being explored more. Back in 2016, there were lesser. Back in 1999, there were none. So I see somebody flashing a light. Maybe he needs some help.
Yeah.
Whoa. Maybe I stopped too suddenly.
Going this way, huh?
Yes, sir. That's the only way to go.
Riders on a Himalayan. Okay. Okay. Show them there is a jeep actually
created a way for them to cross that.
One second. Okay, I'll see if I see 3 people in the Himalayan.
Yeah, they were like 2 pillion.
Uh-huh.
Well, one person is like pillion, having a pillion, and 2 riders.
Okay.
So 3 Himalayan.
Yeah.
1 MH number.
Yeah, just tell me what to do.
So, we have created a way for them.
You've created a way for them, okay?
Yeah. Because there was a you can say a lake over there.
Yeah.
A small lake.
Yeah.
And it's pretty deep.
Okay.
So we have created another way.
Okay, so they should follow that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess you should follow also them.
Done.
Because there's a like if you go this way, you'll the deep is very like this much.
Okay.
So just go this way and this way.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah. That's
Just
it, man.
inform them and you should follow that way.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I guess you could sense a bit of impatience there on my part, but then, okay, let me try and understand this. You've crossed a water crossing which you think is treacherous, and you've got your friends who are following you, and you don't want them to get into trouble, let's just say that. Shouldn't you just wait? Well, to each his own, I guess, but if somebody is giving you a signal that he'd like you to stop and hear him out, you must do that, because you never really know what sort of help they might need. Yeah, it's always good to be helpful.
So here we are at Sangla. We have the whole place to ourselves as of now. Yes, we must. That's the very, very helpful backup vehicle with 1 Himalayan behind it. There down is the route to Chail.
We spent some leisurely moments at Tsaga. To our surprise, there was even a board of a homestay. Could you imagine? We couldn't see any habitation around, but we were pretty certain that there is some presence of the military around in this area. We caught up with the jeep. It's quite amazing the kind of difference in speeds that a 4-wheeler and 2-wheeler can have in these terrains. Obviously the jeep was a little compromised because it was carrying a motorcycle. It was fun playing catch up with the bros. You take it easy, you enjoy the scenery, and then suddenly you want to rip through it. And why not? Mehdi's bike was absolutely amazing on these terrains. Like I've said before, you could just make your own road, go wherever you wish to. This was almost as if you were doing the tango with these paths. They would go left and you would go left with them. They would go right and you could glide along. Just skim the surface while the skyline guides you. Well, this might have been the water crossing that those bikers were talking about. There goes Bro on my Africa Twin. Nicely done. Always wait for one rider to pass through and then do your thing. So I took a different line because I usually stick closer to the source of the water. I mean, it might be deeper there, but because of the pressure of the flow, it usually pushes away all the big loose rocks. But that's the way, I look at it. You don't have to follow that. These scenes, this is what dreams are made of, especially for ATV riders like us.
So Mehdi bro, this is too much fun, man.
It's fun, no?
It's too much fun.
Just glide over any crap.
It's easier to fix your line because you're carrying less momentum. Every time when you're bend, you're lugging that much lesser weight. You just lean into it and you're on through. Yeah? And wow, man, it's just too much fun. How are you enjoying the?
It's so capable, man.
Isn't it?
Point and shoot.
Yeah.
It's like an instant camera.
And the gearing is working just fine.
It's just working beautifully.
One less thing to worry about.
Yeah. Lovely it is.
I'll ride this till Chail.
Yeah. As much as you want.
Okay. Let's see if Viraj wants to stop, otherwise we'll go.
Well, Viraj was in no mood to stop. And so we just kept going. Maybe it was this water crossing that they were talking about. Regardless, neither of them were really as tricky as they were made out to be.
There's a lot of colors. I don't know where to go.
We were having fun, weren't we?
See a lot of colors. Only feeling blue. There's a lot of colors lost within a haze. Don't rely on others to get you through the maze. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore. There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea.
Well, I should be stopping now because back there the road split into two parts, and I think one of them goes through the Sangla Memorial while the other one goes straight to Chanshal. Best to stop and reconnect.
Waiting to be made. Too many choices making me afraid.
We're still over here. We're off, but we passed halfway point. No, I think we are on the right route. Yeah. So this goes to Sangla. I think we should go via Sangla. It's worth a watch.
Wow, the river crossings are fun, huh?
Superb.
I was behind you.
But I stopped aram se, Baba.
I had speed and I had momentum and I go front and rear.
Yeah, you went in the middle.
And then I said, there's no way. I just looked for the gap, into the gap and I went.
Yeah, I figured that out. Those guys were like, stop.
Well, since we were here, it's only fair that we click some pictures to follow.
Pathless traffic.
While we waited for the jeep, there was time to kill. Yeah, we got a bit lazy, so we danced a bit. Oh, we said, what the heck, let's dance some more, crack some jokes, made ourselves comfortable. Oh God, this sun, this beautiful weather. We could just chill here with some beer, but we could also do some push-ups, maybe change our jackets. Okay, let's just do with rehydration for now. We checked our luggage, if everything was in order, and then we moved on to the War Memorial of Sangla, made here by the Indian Army to respect and in memory of those soldiers who gave up their lives in the war of 1962 with China.
Memory of the martyrs of the Canal, West.
Soon we were at Chanshal, where we stopped and had a very late lunch.
आपको आता है मोटरसाइकिल चलाना? आता है ना आपको? है ना? आप मोटरसाइकिल चलाते ना? ओहो, थोड़ा स्लो चलाओ जी। बच्चा को लेने जाएगा?
हाँ, अभी बच्चा तो आना है, वो आया नहीं।
अच्छा,
नहीं तो आएगा ना, अभी आता नहीं।
अच्छा, इधर ही मिलेगा?
हाँ, यो मिलेगा।
अच्छा,
अब लोग ये हानली पुलिस कॉलेज छुमा थांग से
नहीं, हानली हम लोग सोमररी से आए ना।
सुमुर?
हाँ, सोमररी। हाँ, करजोक से आए।
करजोक से, अच्छा ये तांगला से
नहीं, तांगला तो इधर पड़ता है ना।
हाँ हाँ,
हम सोमररी से आए। हाँ, माहे ब्रिज से।
माहे?
हाँ, माहे से, न्योमा से। आ गया, जीप आ गया हमारे शायद।
हाँ।
नहीं,
अब वो जो खाना कहाँ खाया?
खाना इधर खाएंगे अभी। ये हाँ, होटल में ना। इधर गेस्ट हाउस है कोई?
हाँ।
गेस्ट हाउस रहने के लिए? नहीं है?
बिल्कुल नहीं, रात को करना पड़ा, बिल्कुल नहीं।
कोई नहीं, तो अभी मेरठ जाने का?
हाँ, मेरठ पर एक है ना?
हाँ हाँ।
वहीं से बना जगह।
लेरक में है रहने के लिए। चलो, thank you.
Alright then, take a good look around. This is Chanshal, and for some reason I find it really pretty. It was also that time of the day where the sun was low and you could play with your own shadow. The light was fading fast and we had to find Merak to call it a day. And there she was, the beautiful Pangong Tso. Isn't she gorgeous? Almost a foot down there, but managed to balance and carry on. Yes. And don't let anybody tell you that this area and this land is not worth fighting for. It is, every inch of it. It's the most beautiful and the most daunting landscape that probably you'll see anywhere in our country. Vikram, Moni, Yuki and Karma Bhai had taken a higher road which is still being made, which actually means that very soon there will be a tarred road right from Pangong all the way to Chanshal. But as of now, only sections of it are ready and they had to come down to the valley to make it to Merak.
नहीं जाना पड़ेगा, निकाल तो लोगे वैसे, अगर लेफ्ट से ऊपर से निकलोगे ना निकल जाएगा ऐसा, बाइक ज़्यादा चढ़ा हो जाएगा, that's the problem.
But this is a part of our country where you must visit. It could be on 2 wheels or it could be on 4 wheels. What the heck, it could even be on your 2 feet. But you've got to see these wonders. Well, here we were, the small but beautiful town of Merak. We had made it in good time and it was time to enjoy a hot cup of tea and the gorgeous view of the Pangong Tso. It had been yet another awesome day of riding, a large section of which was off the road, which is what we are here for. Merak surprised us by having great accommodation, decent food and an overall pleasant experience. I hope you've enjoyed the video. This is Vipin Mishra saying bye for now. Ride hard, ride safe.